Okay, who's ready for the potential end of this adventure? Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. So, yeah, last time we got to a bad ending. um, I was also thinking about yesterday how, like, it's funny that, like, we get, this conversation happens clearly before that. And, like, but because you play it before that, you don't know that she knows that there's, like, they're planning stuff and to try to fix whatever. And it ends up being, what is it? That's like, oh, she gives herself up, even though, you know, they have stuff, and they also say don't you know, try to stall him and all this other stuff, but it's the act how surprised about his name. Yeah, we're gonna go to the flashback first. About 2 months after waking up on Kamishima and being taken in, Sato Shiranami goes to the roof of the Kante Kisho ruins for some time alone. So this is her perspective on that scene, I guess. Just maybe after she gives the thingy. 2 months have passed since I washed up upon this island. 400 years elapsed while I was locked away under the sea, but I've managed to adjust to modern life somehow. Although, sometimes I wonder why I bothered. It's so quiet on the roof of Kante Kisho. I'm alone, but for the wind rustling in the trees, the distant roar of the tide. It feels so good to have this view all to myself. To just let the soft sea breeze carry me away. It's the perfect spot for someone who wants as little to do with others as possible. But yesterday, someone came up here and ruined everything. Ah, so that was yesterday. I was a little worried at first, but I've adapted smoothly to modern civilization. The fact I only have vague memories of my life from 400 years ago probably helped a bit. I still don't really understand how ships and cars move by themselves, or how electrical appliances and lights and things work. But it's not really an issue, to be honest. I know how to use them, and that's what counts. Most people who were born in the modern era could tell you that fridges keep stuff cold, but not exactly how they do it. It's actually pretty easy to get by if you can just accept that not knowing everything in detail is normal. Besides, it doesn't seem like life has changed that much for the fishermen who live on this remote island. Apparently the big cities have greatly evolved with water and sewage systems, as well as subways. Waking up there would have been a lot more confusing. I really do love being alone. It's so calming. I have a good reason to isolate myself on this island. Soon, my life will be over. I probably have less than a month left. Whoever sealed me away seems to have had some kindness in them at least. They allowed me to spend my last moments as myself, alive. But I can hardly feel grateful. How much living can you really do in a few months? A few weeks? That girl Tsukasa Awao is always hanging around me. But I try to keep my feelings in check and act as cool as possible. Getting too close will only make things harder when it all has to end. I'd like to joke and laugh with them, spend time talking about our favorite TV series and stuff like that. Especially with Tsukasa. The way she reacts to things is so funny. It's really hard not to laugh and play along. I have to try so hard to keep my feelings under control. Cheerful conversations will only become painful memories for her later. And since running it out into the woods and living alone isn't appealing, I just have to play my role as the unfriendly loner till the time comes for me to disappear. Just one more month. One more month of coasting along without making waves. Watching TV every day, learning more and more about the modern world. There's so much fun to be had. Pretending otherwise actually hurts. Humanity has prospered. In the past, the common folk were preoccupied with surviving each day. No, almost anyone can eat delicious food and sleep in a warm bed without having to toil day and night. People have time, freedom, entertainment. It's wonderful. I wish I had time to enjoy it all. Get on an airplane, maybe fly to Tokyo. But there's not much chance of that, not with the time I have left. Still, I really wish I could try one of those game consoles that you can hook up to the TV. You can play different games by switching cartridges according to what they say on the TV. Those consoles are so popular that it's hard to even find one. Not that I'm in a position to make demands, of course. All I can do is look at pictures and magazines and dream about them. If I had a game console, I bet I'd play it all day. I was just thinking about how great life is in like this era, and I'm just like, man, if she came back in like 2020, she'd just be like, well, actually, no, maybe dying in a month isn't going to be so bad. There's no point to wish for too much. I'm just grateful to be able to spend my days this way. So thanks to Wakamura. Please just let me watch TV for my last remaining month. That's not too much to ask, is it? Anyway, I should let my guard down. I gotta keep myself in line. No extravagances. I got to gently drift along and not rock the boat. And then, at least that was the plan. And yet, when speaking with him yesterday, I got completely carried away. I'm still mad at myself about it. Next time I'll be more careful. Cool as a cucumber. Wait, next time? Oh well. Yuzumi Nakuchi, something about him makes me lose my cool completely. It's probably the shock of finding out that he's immortal too. Yeah, that must be it. And maybe being immortals put us on a different wavelength from other people. That's why I'm drawn to him. Yeah, true. I'm using slang. He seems quite young. He can't have been immortal long. But to think mermaids are still around, even now. Wait a moment. I wonder if he knows I'm an 800-year immortal too. I hope not. If he does, it puts my peaceful life at risk. I better make sure he knows to keep his mouth shut. I have to talk to Yuzumi Nakuchi again. Ugh. Finding him is sure going to be a hassle. He's right here. Wow. Ah, he's right there. That actually made me jump. Yeah, no, that was so obvious. Yeah, sometimes some keyboards are like that. I had to clean out my work keyboard because like my 6 key got stuck for a bit, and I was like, okay, I especially need numbers to work. That's the first thing. True. Wish he'd wipe that look off his face, as if he's indifferent. I bet he's secretly proud of himself for being the one to startle me this time. You came back. So, you're here too, huh? Did I startle you? Of course you did! Anyone would get a fright when someone sneaks up on them like that. I know exactly how I felt. Ugh, you're right, I guess I deserved that. Never mind that, now. There's something I wanted to ask you. There's something I need to tell you too, but you go first. I was thinking about what you said yesterday about that pretty rough thing, and it occurred to me. Could you, by any chance, be an immortal girl? Whoa, I didn't think it was that obvious. I knew it. Something about you is just different. So I'm an immortal boy, and you're an immortal girl. Don't put it like that. Why not? That's what we look like. And it sounds better than people who became immortal by eating mermaid flesh. Besides, going by our actual ages or something would just get confusing. I guess that makes sense. True, Toast. Right? You might as well call yourself that too. Alright, I will. Anyway, as it turns out, I wanted to talk about the same thing. You knew you were immortal, didn't you? Yep, I found out just recently, in fact. I got swept out to sea and survived, against all odds. That's when I remembered being saved by a mermaid 5 years ago, and it all started to make sense. Wait, saved? By a mermaid? From what? Well, I had no idea. I hadn't even heard an incident like that occurred 5 years ago. And in the sea just south of Kamishima, too. No one really talks about it anymore. So a mermaid saved you and made you an immortal boy. Right. That's my best guess anyway. Not sure I understand. Sorry, not that I understand why a mermaid would go out of her way to rescue me. Anyway, I'm just happy I can finally talk to someone about this. There's still so much I don't understand. Since we're here, do you mind if I ask you some questions? That's fine, but I need you to promise me one thing. Never tell anyone about me being an immortal girl. Easy, I prefer people to know about me either. Good. I'd have to kill you otherwise, so thanks for sparing me the trouble. You know, you're a lot tougher than I thought you'd be. Anyway, done. I swear on my life, or lives. Whoa, look at you, making immortal jokes. You modern kids are something else. Honestly, it just came out. I just like that, just... This might be easier than I thought. I just need to keep my guard up. I wonder what he wants to ask me. I don't remember much about the past, so I'm not sure what I can tell him. He's been immortal for 5 years, so he's not going to get any taller. Another 795 years as a teenager sounds pretty rough. So, what did you want to ask me? Oh, right. How long does this immortal thing last? Is it really forever? 800 years. No more, no less. Whoa, 800 years. That's a really solid number. Precisely. Good luck for the next 795. Yeah, I would wonder, like, I feel like they would have localized that a bit, but she also uses some, like, she uses a few slang phrases in a way that's like, because she just said cool as a cucumber, and there was another phrase she said yesterday that also just like stuck out with me, and I can't remember it. It stuck out with me at the time, and I can't remember it now. But part of me just wonders if it's supposed to be like she's picking up stuff on TV, so she's like trying to like talk like the people on TV, so that's why she uses like certain phrases and such. What am I? Some fine wine? I need more than luck. That's a whole 8 centuries we're talking about. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Like I said, I could tell you you had a long time left. Huh. Being immortal for so long must give you an amazing intuition. Oh, and just checking. But is there any way to undo our immortality? No, there isn't. You're not human anymore, and there's no way to become human again now that your human body is long gone. Ugh, I knew it. By the way, how long have you been alive? This is my 800th year. I only have a month left. What? Really? It's a long story, but I've kind of been out of the game for the past 400 years. Now my life is almost over. 400 years is a long, long time. Only 1 month. You're way older than I imagined. So, is there anything I need to be careful of? What do you mean? Well, see, I'm stuck in this immortal body. Is there anything I should avoid? Oh, right. If you fall into a deep fissure or a pit of lava, you'll keep dying over and over. So don't do that. Yikes, that sounds terrifying. Avoid lava, got it. That's about it. I don't remember all that much. I guess that's how it is. Oh, and it'll get messy if people find out, so try to keep a low profile. You'll probably have to find somewhere new to live every few decades. That'll help you avoid suspicion. Living in the same place for too long is dangerous, huh? Oh, but it won't be easy living anonymously with the family registry system. You used to be able to just show up in a new place and start making a living. People did it all the time, but nowadays, yeah, but it's way more difficult to move around than it used to be. Sounds real rough. Good luck with that. Great, thanks. Well, you know, all you do is just murder people with your curse and then, take on their identity. Not again. Are you gonna come here every day? It's not like I have anything better to do. Yeah, me neither. You know, you're the one who started showing up at my favorite place. I like it too. I have just as much right to be here as you do. Besides, it's such a nice spot. Yeah, I get that. You said you said before that you come here to think. What do you think about? Stuff like what sort of work I can do. Oh, are you unemployed? Obviously. Someone with a job wouldn't spend their mornings staring at the sea. Not everyone's lucky enough to have a cushy life eating free food and watching TV all day. Eric. Listen, can we cut this out? It seems utterly pointless to knock each other down every 5 seconds. Sick. It was just funny that Sato said that, I guess, but... True. I guess we can call it truce. Hey. Is living for so long hard? It's definitely not a stable life. It can be really hard at times. But that's true whether you're immortal or not, isn't it? At least you don't have to worry about starving to death anymore. Even if you get sick or injured, dying will fix it. I've never struggled that much because of my immortality, to be honest. Oh, is it really that easy? I mean, what if you really want to die and you just can't? Do you want to die? Well, not now. But maybe if I've lived long enough, I'll change my mind. Oh. When you said you got sucked out to sea before, was that because you... Damn. I thought you were a super chill boy, but I guess you're a sensitive boy too. Seems that way. I was just as surprised as you to find that out. Come on then. What happened? Talk to your elder immortal. Jeez, so they blamed her mother for the disaster 5 years ago, and even shunned you because of it. Guess you mustn't have been keen to come back here then. I didn't want my gran or a zombie to have to worry about me. It was a moment of weakness that pulled me back here, I guess. Not really sure. Regardless, I need to live as quietly as possible and stay out of everyone's way now. That's why you came up here to be alone, huh? Well, I know how you feel. It's the same for me. Wait, so you were sealed in an underwater cave for 400 years? Yeah, there was a reason for it, to keep something from happening, but I don't remember what it was. I'm awake now, so that must mean it's okay. Whatever it was. Jeez. That must have been terrible. Pretty noble of me, wouldn't you say? If you wanted to worship me, I wouldn't say no. So, this Azami Kumoi guy looks out for you, huh? Yeah, he's a really good guy. Too good for me, definitely. Honestly, I don't think I could survive on this island without his help. And yet, you haven't told him you're immortal? No, I doubt he'd believe me. Besides, if he started avoiding me or something, I'd have nothing left. I don't think I could keep going. Not that you can die. Ugh, true. Several days later. I see. So you've been acting cold because you don't have much time left, huh? I understand. Saying goodbye to people you care about isn't easy. Yeah, exactly. And when you live as long as we do, you have to say goodbye to so many people. Come to think of it, being immortal sounds pretty rough. Well, it does mean saying goodbye a lot. You can see why some people see immortality as a kind of punishment or hell itself. There have been immortals who became so overcome with despair that they turned their backs on the world and devoted themselves to religion. Like Yao Bikuni. So that's where that story comes from. But, you know, as far as I can remember, I never felt like this existence was hell. Really? Yeah. For those 400 years, before I was sealed away, I just lived out my life. If you ask me, not everyone's cut out to be immortal. It's like anything else, really. Some people have what it takes, others don't. She only has a loser incel following her for the last, month of her life. Because apparently he didn't know that she was also alive and everywhere, right? So... all things considered, you know, that's a small portion of her life to be followed by a loser incel. So what? You're just a natural immortal? Yep. Sounds like I was born for it. I see. There really is something for everyone. But I guess emotionally maturing to match the fact that you're 817 years old wasn't for you, though. You noticed? I'm self-conscious about that. Oh, sorry. Anyway, it takes talent to live for centuries without seeming to age a day. True. I wish I had that talent too. I'm jealous. I hope I'll be able to look at it the same way. Are you scared? Huh? Are you scared of being alone for the next 800 years? Well, yeah, that's part of it. It's also just hard to imagine myself living in the future. Makes sense. I probably would have been scared too if I'd known from the start I had 8 whole centuries ahead of me. But I reckon you'll be okay. You might even surprise yourself. You think so? Yeah, you're a lot like me in some ways, so I think you might be cut out for this immortal life. Huh. Are we alike? I hadn't noticed. You sure are. Like how you started playing the fool when you get embarrassed. You got me there. See? I remember when we first met, we started talking like we're old friends right off the bat. True. I remember thinking how it was funny how it didn't feel awkward at all. In my case, you got a knack for it. Another 795 years will feel like nothing. Blink and you'll miss it. Like nothing. I don't know if I wanted to go by that fast. Exactly. In the end, you might not even feel like it was enough. Maybe your last words will be, I know I lived 800 years, but come on, give me another few centuries. I get it now. You really are good at being immortal. So good, you still don't want to die. Huh? You only got 1 month before your lifespan ends. You must be scared too. You've never despaired once at being immortal until now. You're not wrong there. I mean, I lost 400 years. So I'm not nearly done with life yet. I want to keep living more than anything. Of course I'm scared. I understand that. It's not like you're on your deathbed and have been given 1 month to live. You're as healthy as can be. So maybe it's time you stopped worrying. What do you mean? Since you don't have long left, why not spend the rest of your lifespan having fun? Live it out to the fullest. If you do the best you can with the time you have left, you might even feel satisfied with the life you've led in the end. Wow. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But if I get close to anyone, it'll only hurt them when I die. Yeah, but I mean, you could just let them mourn you. You've had to do that plenty of times, right? I guess I could be forgiven for being a little selfish in my old age. Exactly. If it helps, consider yourself forgiven. Does that mean you'll mourn me when I disappear? Of course I will. From the bottom of my heart. Really now? That might just make me happy. Good. Then here's the plan. You're going to have as much fun as possible, starting tomorrow. Tsukasa's coming back for the holidays too, by the way. I'm sure she'll be more than happy to hang out with you. She wanted to be your friend, you know? Oh, I'm liking the sound of this more and more. I wanted to be your friend too. Guess that's my chance to take her around the island. Oh, but while I'm at it... Yeah? You said your grandmother Suyu needed someone to talk to, right? Oh, yeah. It's just... We don't have much to talk about. She's always going on about what's on TV, and I just can't keep up. Ha! Leave the TV talk to me! Oh, and I'd be happy to look after her while you're out working as well. Are you sure? That'd be a huge help, but... Sure, I'm sure. She seems like an interesting person to talk to. I'd love to spend time with her. She's definitely something. You can't let your guard down around her, that's for sure. And she's pretty stubborn, not to mention, if she doesn't like something, she's not afraid to say it. I'll bear that in mind. You know what? I'm pretty excited for tomorrow now. I'm glad. Hey, Yuza. That's my name, don't wear it out. I know we initially came here because we wanted to be alone, but from now on... Can we come here when we don't want to be alone instead? Sato? Of course we can. I'll wait for you here every day. After that... Okay, so that's specifically probably why he's like, I want to find a mermaid before tomorrow, so Sato can live longer. That's the only connection I can think about, like, in terms of like, yeah, he needs to find a mermaid by tomorrow. I decided to stop holding back and reach out to everyone around me. And you know what? They responded. They started interacting with me in just the same way. Yeah, it was definitely mentioned around there at some point. But yeah, it definitely feels like very confirmed now. I love Twitch is great. Twitch's streak is great. I think Ryudo told a story like a month or two ago where he tried to it was like one of those notifications that's like, okay, watch the stream and fix your streak or kick your streak, and he watched the entire thing and the streak still broke because the system is really, really well implemented. It's great. So I decided to spend my last few days having as much fun as possible. So much fun that I won't have time to fear the end. Of course, no one but Yuza and I know of my immortality, or what little remains of it. But these past few days have been so much fun. There are points where I can't even tell if I'm dreaming, or if this is my new reality. I did not. And most importantly, Yuza's life and mine have continued to intertwine, and we meet at our usual spot day after day. We get along so well. Being together feels like the most natural thing on earth. And it didn't take long for us both to notice how comfortable we were around each other. Before we knew it, we were like being drawn together with increasing intensity, like stars meeting in orbit. I just like this, I just like that. Just back. Whose side do we want first? Let's get Yuza's side. Yuza Minakuchi meets Sato Shironami, a fellow immortal, in secret over the past month, and grows closer to her. A decisive night befalls them. This is really up close. The cool night sky is teeming with stars. The wind gently brushing the trees as ocean waves echo in the distance. Looking over the sea puts my mind at ease. We don't have much time. Honestly, we should have made up our minds long ago, but there's still a chance. I refuse to give up until it's all over. When we were here yesterday, she told me how she felt. She said she loved me, that if it were somewhere possible, she'd be with me forever. It must have taken some real courage. I actually feel kind of bad for making her say it. Because I feel exactly the same way. Even though we've known each other for less than a month, I can't deny these feelings. I felt the same way, but I didn't have her courage. Either way, one of us only has a day left to live, the other 795. Telling her how I felt would mean nothing. Worse, it would make parting that much harder. You say you tell her? I thought if I could bury my feelings somewhere, they would never emerge. I thought I could bury my feelings somewhere they would never emerge from. For her part, I suppose she wanted to move on without leaving anything unsaid, with no regrets, even if nothing came of it. She knew it was futile, but she said it anyway. And yet, once I let those feelings out, feelings that should never have been revealed, there was no controlling them anymore. My desire to spend the rest of my life with her burned like a searing flame in my chest. We contemplated possible ways for us to remain together? The answer came to us surprisingly fast, an answer that we shouldn't have even considered. But there's no time to concern ourselves with the right or wrong of it. We didn't even hesitate. Only one option was available to us, and we intended to take it. But there's hardly enough time to see it through. Hell, even if we had longer, the odds of our plan succeeding were dismally low. It was nothing more than our final vain act of rebellion. Okay, Toast, he said it. Also, I want to double check something here. Yeah, they still just call them, like, the age that they had when they... Well, actually, Yuza's different. Yuza's, it says 18, but he became immortal at, like, 15, 13 or something, so... But as far as everyone concerned, he's 18, right? Hell, even if he had long... Oh, yeah. You already said that? Sato sits quietly, watching the ebb and flow of the tide. I wonder what she's thinking about. Is she carefully contemplating what comes next? What are you thinking about? Huh? I was thinking about how we first met. A month ago? Yeah. God, that episode was so ridiculous. Not that other episodes of JoJo's make more sense, but like that episode was so silly. Back then, you said you wouldn't bother me. You didn't seem interested in me at all. But it only made me more interested in you. Ah, so that's why you crept up behind me to scare me, huh? I wasn't trying to scare you. I just wanted to see your surprised face. So, you were trying to scare me. Well, you honestly got me good. You definitely got me back the next day. I love that memory. With a memory like that, there's nothing else I need. I have no regrets. Come on. You can't be all fulfilled and complete, or, you can't be all fulfilled and complete already. We're only just getting started. Right, we're only getting started. Can't believe she was thinking about that day at a time like this. That carefree side of her is so dang adorable, though. I can't be upset with her. Yeah, my heart won't stop racing. I never felt this way before. At first, I thought it was simply because we were immortal, that our closeness was a feeling of kinship. But it was more than that. I never got along with someone so well, especially someone who's lived such a different life from my own. It feels like I found a missing piece of myself. My heart is whole when I'm with her. Our very souls are in harmony. Well, that might be pushing it a little bit. Even Gran saw how compatible we are and urged me to get married already. That was too embarrassing for me to tell Sato about, though. There's no way I can lose her. I can't even conceive of life without her. Even with 800 years of life ahead of me, I'll never meet anyone remotely as amazing as her. If there's some way to use my immortality to stay with her, I'd do it in an instant. Whatever form I had to take, I wouldn't complain. I'd sell my soul to the devil if it would get me what I desired. You did! You call that frame one. There, you're just like, oh, there's something. You saw the pictures like, Sato likes Yuza there. Sato's definitely, into Yusa. We've made up our minds. We'll see our final wish through, no matter what. Sato Shiranami meets Yusa Minakuchi, a fellow immortal in secret for the past month. So now we get her side of it. Her thoughts and feelings. I wonder if the conversation is going to be exactly the same, too. The summer breeze feels perfect, and the clear sky is sparkling with stars. Nothing relaxes me more than the whisper of the tide and the breeze in the trees. I'm so happy. I only have 2 days left. Finding hope at a time like this feels like a miracle. I'd all but given up. I never thought I'd get a second chance. When we were here yesterday, I told Yusa how I felt. I told him I loved him. That if it were somewhere possible, I'd stay by his side forever. I planned on taking those feelings to the grave. But then it hit me. There wouldn't even be a grave for me. Maybe that's why I blurted it out. I was prepared for it to go badly, but he accepted my feelings. Still, I only have 2 days left. It can't be any easier on him than it is me. After all, sharing our feelings changes nothing. It'll only make it harder to say goodbye. But Yusa confessed that he had been suppressing his feelings for the same reason. Hearing that made me wish I hadn't said it first. I can't help feeling like I lost somehow. But looking back, that moment was the only time I could have said it, so I'm glad I did. However, now that it's all out in the open, I thought we'd feel a sense of peace, but we don't. Far from it. We're not like a pair of tragic lovers in a story, bound to die beautifully together or anything like that. I mean, if we could die together, there'd be nothing to agonize over in the first place. So we started thinking of ways we'd be together. I don't know if that would work, because like I feel like they say like any illness or disease would get cured every time he dies. But so I don't know but I mean a curse is different, so who knows. The answer came to us surprisingly fast, but it was an answer that could be described as taboo. Yusa asked me if I was sure I wanted to go through with it, but honestly, I didn't need to think twice. If that's what it takes, then so be it. All I want is to be with him. We're running out of time. Although, even if we had more time, the odds of our plan succeeding are almost zero anyways. Part of me wishes that we made this plan much earlier. But maybe I needed this time for my feelings to reach their peak. Maybe this is just how it had to be. You better to think we made it just in time. I'll keep fighting this fate until the very end. Yusa is silently gazing out at the dark sea. I wonder what he's thinking about. I suppose he's seriously considering what lies ahead of us. What are you thinking about? Huh? Oh, just our height difference. Oh, my height's been bugging you? Well, we're gonna be like this forever. Don't worry. Even with 15 centimeters between us, you look great, Yusa. Thanks, but that doesn't really make me feel better. not your fault you were only in middle school when you became immortal. Nothing you can do now. You'll just have to live with it. Man, if only it happened just 1 or 2 years later, maybe I'd be at least 5 centimeters taller. Wait, even then I'd still be 10 centimeters shorter than you. Wow, that's crazy. Sorry for being crazy tall. It's fine. I don't care if there's 15 centimeters between us. You're still my adorable Sato. Thanks, but that doesn't really make me feel better. Still, you must have stood out back in your time, huh? Yeah. I was taller than most adult men back then. From what I can remember, I think everyone found me a bit creepy. Sorry to hear that. It's not like you could help it. They treated me like some kind of monster because of it. People straight up avoided me. That's awful. On the other hand, I do remember at least one person back then who kept trying to woo me. Who was it? Sounds like someone's jealous. Hey, I ain't the kind of guy who obsesses over his girlfriend's past. What's done is done. Ha, nice line. I bet you've been waiting to say that one for ages. Still, I mean, you've been alive for so long. There's way too much history to worry about. Yeah, for real, right? Like, you just be like, well, you've been alive for 800 years. I can't really be like, oh man, I hope she's like a pure, innocent virgin girl. I hope I'm her first boyfriend. Fair point. Honestly, I barely remember him myself. Although, I don't think I liked him all that much. He was just somebody important I couldn't say no to, or something like that. Huh? Really? That's good to hear. At least as far as I can remember. Anyway, I thought you didn't care. I guess you have... Don't do that. I guess you have so much more experience under your belt, it makes me feel a bit out of your league. Oh, sorry, it makes me feel a bit out of your league, yeah. I see. Well, I'm the one who confessed to you, so I guess we'll call it even for now. Right, that works for me. Not even sure... Oh, sorry, not sure what's even exactly, but I'll take it. I would have assumed he'd be thinking about tomorrow's plan. I never imagined he might be thinking about what comes after that. He's so sure we're gonna succeed. Knowing that makes me feel so much more confident. His easygoing attitude is actually reassuring right now. I'm so glad he's here with me. My heart won't stop racing. I've never felt this way before. I didn't think I could feel something new after living 800 years. The fact he's an 800-year immortal too probably has something to do with it. With him, I feel safe. There's nothing I'd be afraid to tell him. But that's not all there is to it. There are some people, you know, you can know for decades and still not fall in love with them. And then there's those who, you know, you can't live without barely a second after you met. Even a bond that's lasted centuries can fall apart in a single day. Love isn't measured by time. Maybe it's too much to say we're soulmates, but that's how it feels to me. Even Suyu's been saying we should get married because we're clearly made for each other. Oh, she even said she's like, you know, I need to play my odds. I need both of them to know that I want them to get married. Not that I've told Yuza that. It'd be way too embarrassing. But I don't want to say goodbye to Yuza. It feels like I've waited 800 years for him, and now a lot of things might be destroyed tomorrow. Everything the islanders have been protecting, heck, even some relationships might crumble. But still, we're gonna do it. We've made up our mind. We'll see our final wish through, no matter what. My apologies for the interruption. I simply wish to confirm your understanding of a certain point. Yusa Minakuchi and Sato Shiranami attempted in vain to hide their feelings for one another, and now they're hatching a plan. Considering how much you're remembered already, I'm certain you'll recall this fact as well. So let me ask you, what can be done to intertwine two lives that were never meant to stay together? What the hell is this? Be shaved bald. Okay, so it's gonna be Sato Shiranami must once again be made immortal. You say? That is correct. And you chose the right answer on your very first attempt. Well done indeed. Who gets that wrong? Who gets that wrong after you look at everything? I do think that's, like, I think the thing is, Sato, what is it? Yusa, you do get a lot of time with Yusa, but you don't get a lot of, like, time with him in one go as much as you do with other people. It's like, you get, like, it's like, okay, now we got a whole bunch with Sato. Okay, now we can bounce up to Yusa again. Oh, we got some stuff with, Avi. Oh, we're allowed to bounce up to Yusa again. Indeed, there's no way to undo the curse of an 800-year immortal. The only way for them to remain together would be to somehow obtain the flesh of a mermaid. I believe they have no choice but to make Sato Shiranami live for another 800 years. As such, the plan they hatched was to obtain a second helping of immortality. It's a radical concept, but such a method goes against the very laws of nature, but it is not my place to judge. Please enjoy the continuation of their story. Yeah, I think that the two parts that I definitely think he definitely shows up near the start, right after the Shogo part, and then he shows up at the end after you find out that who the ultimate villain was, and he kind of goes over, like, what are the conditions that need to be met and who you are. No, wait, no. First, after that, he actually says there's something that you need to do to stop whatever, and then, or in a timeline that's something you can do, and then when you interact with that, then he asks you about if you figured out the whole solution. I told Azami about our plan to find a mermaid, and he agreed to help. We'll go diving tomorrow morning and hopefully find a clue. I'm sorry. I can't be any more help. I just can't remember anything else. But I'm sure there was a mermaid on Taishima. Don't worry about it. At least we know where to start the search. It seems like my mom had some connection with mermaids, though, huh? Definitely. So you showed me that scale, and it really looks like it came from it really looks like it came from a mermaid. How strange would it be if it turned out your mom was actually a mermaid all along? Yeah, but even I think that's a bit of a leap. If I start diving into the Southern Sea, people are bound to start talking about my mom again, which will give us the chance to hear more details that we might not be aware of. That's the hope, at least, anyway. Yeah, he does actually specifically tell you if you get it right or wrong. If you're like... I could have tried to keep my head down as much as I could until now, but I can't idly stand by anymore. Lately, there's been talks around the island of ominous signs. maybe that'll work in our favor. You mean people talking about the storm coming? Yeah, that could just be the push we need. Also, the person you said you met today. Sumiko Shiki from the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, was it? She definitely seems to know. She definitely seems like she knows something. Maybe if you didn't figure it out, maybe you just get locked out of this part. Yeah, there's something suspicious about her. Oh, hey, thanks for the raid. Much appreciated. Hope you've been doing well. Hope you've been in what were you up to? Anyways, we're very at the end of this game though, so I will remark, if you aren't familiar with PARANORMASIGHT, this is again just the very end of the very end. So if you don't want spoilers, here it is. But it's really good. It's really good. If you sorry. Yep, I'm at the end. Yeah, we're at Turbo Deluxe spoilers right now. You think you're close to the end? Good. I hope you've been enjoying it. I hope you've been enjoying that, because it's really good. It's been really good. It's been so fun. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I'm glad other people are appreciating the game. Oh, and thanks for the follow. I'll very much appreciate it. Anyways, got 10 seconds before I continue. Just give me a little heads up, although I'm pretty sure you might have already closed out now, because I definitely would if I was also trying to get through it. Anyway, I think she didn't pay much attention to me because she knows I don't have much longer to live. But she apparently has the power to detect immortals, and when she finds them, she locks them up somewhere. They've been watching me too, so they might already have their suspicions. I'll be careful. It's pretty wild to think that we're being hunted by government authorities, though. I guess people like us can't really be allowed to exist. I don't think they'd be too happy about us searching for mermaid flesh either. It'd be great if we could somehow get information out of them. That might be difficult. We don't know if they'll be coming back to Kamishima tomorrow. True. I guess we could always go to the mainland. Yusa? Yeah? Do we really need to be so secretive about it? Can we tell Tsukasa and Azami everything and ask them to help us out? It's not that I don't trust them, because I do. It's just the more people there are that know a secret, the more likely it is to come out. If people find out there's a way to become immortal, it would cause an uproar. Even the police would be after us then. Heck, every person who wants to live forever would be looking for us. We can't force Azami and Tsukasa to get caught up in all that. You're right. If anyone is going to get locked up, it should be just us. Or it should just be us. Exactly. That's why we should keep our mermaid search as quiet as possible. Besides, if you told anyone else, it'd be harder to keep the fact that you're an immortal girl hidden. But won't it all come out when the police come around asking questions? I guess I can just play dumb and pretend I don't know anything until they come up with some solid evidence. We probably shouldn't let people know about us either. It'd just make it harder for us to continue our search. Yeah, I guess you're right. Let's try and stay apart as much as possible from tomorrow, just to be safe. As of now, I doubt anyone knows about our relationship. Yeah, I'm sure no one has caught on yet. Let's avoid all unnecessary contact while you continue to search for mermaid flesh on our own. We can set specific times to meet up and share information, but we'll have to make sure no one sees us together. Right. I'll avoid interacting with you in public. But if you need to contact each other... What election do you bring? Okay, but that's at the end of the game. That one's fine. That one's fine. But, like, the big one is... I was gonna be like, well, Sirius been making the jokes, but also... Parents and grandmas will make that joke even if they don't suspect that they're... She's probably like, oh, you two are great together. You should do it. And even though she doesn't know that they're, like, actually, like, interested in each other. But if we need to contact each other in an emergency, we can leave some kind of signal at a place we often walk by. Oh, I know. I'll leave this Kamishimaro keychain in front of the town clock. If you see it there... Do you think you could come to the roof of Kante Kisho? I was wondering why that, because like obviously that was Yuzu throw that to get her attention. I just didn't know why. I mean, there's also that. There's multiple kinds of reactions, but I've seen a lot of. I've seen parents do that. Oh, that's the one I gave you. Okay, Kamishimaru. Okay, Kamishimaru could be our go-between. I guess that's what... I guess that gives us 2 days to find out what we need. I know it'll take a miracle, but we can't give up. Right. Okay, so... Now can we grab the thingy? Here it is. As beautiful as ever. You've got to be kidding me. No, what's up though? I didn't mean to hit move, I meant to hit think. Keep doing it. You've been told it's a mermaid scale, and we've been told that all you need is like 1 scale. Let's go. So shrine. Okay, apparently we're just not allowed to do this just yet. Okay, well, I'm gonna get up for a second. Get some annoying bird music for a bit. Then I'll be back in a bit. Don't go too far, everyone. It's so bad. It is hilarious how, like, how much just annoying instrumentation they could just insert in here. Okay, we got conclusion. Like you're keep a coma. I'm just sitting here like, what if we need like him to be like the lady to be dead to get the thing? That wouldn't make sense. Now for the moment of truth. Two or three people died from that curse just now. Hope you're happy with yourself. No. I'll tell you what, if you snivel and weep and beg for my forgiveness, I'll let you off eat. Huh? Huh? Something off. Something's off. Could this mean they found a way to stop the curse? Ah. Two or three people, but like all these cards. God, what the fuck? Paper butterflies? Whoa, I still can't believe what I'm seeing. Those cards actually turned into butterflies and started flapping about. Yeah, the name just needs to be on the card. Yeah. Ziggle was just like, oh man, that's a lot of names she has to write down. But no. She just, the business cards. The business cards have his name on them. And it specifically says in her ability that she doesn't need to be the one who wrote the name on it. It just has to have the name on it. Turning a bunch of business cards into a swarm of Shikigami. Only you could think of something that out there, Yuza. I figured you could turn a piece of paper with someone's name written on it into a Shikigami. Business cards would work as well. And since Mr. Kiryu was able to extend the effect to cover the entire island, I was sure it'd work, but it's still a relief to see I was right. It was a great idea. Now all we have to do is track down those cards and leave the rest up to Mr. Kiryu's and his powers. Stop right there. Now that your curse is useless, I have no reason to hold back any longer. Taira no Tomoshige, I hereby place you under arrest. Grr, that fucking hurts! Screw you! Osato, how dare you toy with me, you fucking bitch! Sorry, thanks for the offer and all, but I'd rather you died alone. Curse you, how could you do this to me? Osato, why? Come along quietly, I'm warning you. It'll be worse for you if you don't. Fuck! Damn it! Osato, you... And so, Kippei Ukoma was arrested, and the last of the calamities threatening Kamishima was averted. Both Mr. Kiryu and Miss Shiki thanked us again and again. They seemed grateful for everything we had done, including putting an end to the Curse of the Raging Waves. Asami seemed pretty pleased with himself, even though he brushed off as only natural for us islanders to defend our home. Apparently the Coast Guard is on its way to assist with the investigation into Mr. Wakamura's death. Mrs. Shiki and Mr. Kiryu are planning to use the Coast Guard's boats to escort Ikoma to the mainland. Speaking of Ikoma, it seems he's accepted his fate and confessed to everything. His true identity is Taira no Tomoshige, a member of the Heike who gained immortality 800 years ago. Tomoshige has spent the past 800 years working alone in the shadows, possessed by the single desire of restoring the Heike. His plan remained unchanged. He obtained wealth and status, gain immortality, bring... Did I really watch this? Read this? No, I don't think I did. Perhaps he came closest to this goal during the Sengoku area, where, as Komatsu Sadamune, a vassal of the Kikuki clan. I think I put part of this, because like, I do remember him being the vassal and being like, oh, that makes sense. With Taishima, an island said to be the dwelling place for mermaids, but this attempt ultimately ended in failure. Refusing to give up, he continued to devise various schemes in that pursuit for his goal, but none of them was a success. As the modern age approached, his accumulated resentment... Oh, you know what? I think it also just was in the files. I think it was in the other files. As the modern age approached, his accumulated resentment grew so strong that he gained the ability to wield it as a curse. Since attaining this power, he has sought out young men with no family of a similar age to him, and used it to kill them without leaving any evidence, before going on to assume their identity. He disposed of all their bodies at a point in the sea near Toba, where currents happened to stagnate, a perfect spot to ensure they would remain undiscovered. Approximately 6 years ago, he murdered a youth by the name of Kipe Ikoma and assumed his identity before approaching Yoshiatsu Yamashina in a bid to wile his way into his trust. A strategy that he used multiple times before with other influential figures. Once he gained it, he planted the idea of attaining immortality in his mind and encouraged him to begin searching for mermaids. However, a careless comment by Shinobu Wakamura revealed that Osato, a girl Tomoshige had been close to during the height of the Heike power, had also become an 800-year immortal and was currently living on Kamishima. Tomoshige felt a sudden, intense longing for that long-lost time, and in that instant, his ambition seemed to lose all meaning. Nearing the end of his life and beginning to feel a growing sense of futility at his failure to fulfill his goals, he perhaps wished that someone who knew him would recognize his solitary struggle and show appreciation for his efforts. Feeling this chance at a reunion must be fate, he became singularly fixated on the idea of finding Osato and reaching the end of his life together with her. To that end, he conferred his curse stone to Kikuko Tsutsui, who had stationed on Kamishima to monitor the sacrificed sanctuary, and tried to threaten Osato into giving herself up. However, he lost contact with Kikuko. When he lost contact with Kikuko, he realized his plan had failed, and with the end of his lifespan drawing near, he decided to head to Kamishima himself. Fortunately, he had secretly been supporting those who sought to lift the curse of the raging waves, and the culmination of their efforts saw the curse broken at last. However, at the time of its dispelling, Tomoshige found himself confined to a cell in the Yamashina estate. Yoshiatsu, whose patience with him had worn thin due to the increasing selfishness of his actions, including his abandonment of his search for mermaids in the Toma Tobacco, had decided to punish him for his insubordination. This would prove insufficient to stop Tomoshige. Sensing the curse had been broken, desperate to reach Kamishima, he used his curse to kill Yoshiatsu without hesitation, having placed the symbol it used as a target throughout the mansion in advance. Upon reaching Kamishima, he headed straight for the Wakamura residence. making sure to hand out his business card to any islanders he encountered on the way. After handing his business card to Shinobu with a pleasant smile, he pressed him to hand over Osato without delay, before using his curse to kill him on the spot upon his refusal. Feeling the end of his lifespan fast approaching, the only one thing that mattered to Tomoshige now, finding Osato and fulfilling his desire to die together with her. And while he didn't actually name any names, Kikuko, who was under house arrest after plotting to use her curse to commit murder, is going to be escorted off the island with him. Before Miss Shuki and her assistant departed, they summoned me for a private word. Huh? You want me to join the Paranormal Affairs Bureau? It was Soto's suggestion, actually. He's quite impressed with everything you've achieved. And I'm all for it. It would make it easier for you to keep your immortality a secret. Maybe even put it to good use. Wait, are you saying you'll send me into dangerous situations just because I can't die? You know, I actually hadn't thought of that, but that's not a bad idea. just shit. Like, really? Soto's just like, miss, can you not look so happy about it? I think not, ma'am. That would make it impossible to keep his identity a secret. I know. I was just kidding. A shame, though. I heard that. Even so, Yuza, this would require rigorous training to help you harness and control your psychic abilities. The offer only stands if you are prepared to put yourself through that, and it won't be easy. No, honestly, I didn't say it out loud, but I definitely thought about that earlier too, because I was just like, yeah, if he joined their bureau, he like, especially when Sato brought up the whole fact about like it's going to be really hard with their family registry and everything and all this other stuff, and it's just like, well, if there was a government department that could fuck around with the records for him, seeing as you'll be under our surveillance, you'd be able to go about your life with a little more freedom. Since to me that's not a bad deal for someone in your position, all things considered. So, what do you say? What happens if I refuse? Will you arrest me? Well, we do have you to thank for wrapping up our investigations here. So, if you'd prefer to live a quiet life on Kamishima, we'll turn a blind eye and leave you be. But just so we're clear, at the first sign of you being on the move, we'll be on our way over here to take you away. Okay, I understand. In that case, I'm going to need some time to think this over. Would that be alright? Really? I thought it'd be an easy decision. But I suppose there's plenty of time. Just contact me when you've made up your mind. Oh, before I forget, there's something else I've been meaning to ask you. Yes? The funny thing is, I wasn't planning on coming to Kamishima at all today, then, out of nowhere, I changed my mind. That wasn't your doing, was it? Huh? What do you mean? I keep feeling I kept getting the feeling I was being watched or even manipulated. Especially this morning, when I changed plans to set out for Kamishima, it didn't feel like my decision somehow. It's almost as if someone was guiding us here. Oh, actually, I felt something similar to that as well. I thought it was the Tomokazuki's doing, since it only started happening after that encounter. But why would you think it was me? I don't know. Something about it reminded me of you. Like it was close to you or something. Close to me? Anyway, it seems I was wrong. Though, I'm not sure what else it could be, unless I'm possessed by a spirit or something. That is out of the question. If either of you were possessed, I would be the first to know. Yumiko fucks with government records. So true. Given that I can't cannot perceive the origin of this sensation. It must be something truly extraordinary. The thing is, I also get the feeling that we have this mysterious watcher to thank for everything turning out the way it did. Right. That's how it seemed to me, too. That's what I said. Because they brought up the whole consciousness thing, and I was like, well, whatever it is. I can't sense it anymore, so I suppose there's no use worrying over it now. No sense worrying it over now that the situation has been resolved. Yeah. That's where we left it. Storyteller. But then... well, let's see Shotaro. We've barely seen Shotaro in the last couple streams, so... bumped into Shotaro, who seemed to be on the verge of a mental breakdown after hearing about his father's death. He already heard about the arrest of the culprit, a man named Ikoma. However, it quickly became apparent that it wasn't grief that was weighing on him so heavily. Shotaro, I don't even know what to say. I'm so sorry. Please let us know if there's anything we can do to help you through this, okay? Help me through this? What, do you think I'm sad or something? Spare me your inane comments. I didn't mean to upset you. Shotaro, could you calm down? It's not like you to shout like that. Ha, as if you plebeians can understand my troubles. But since you're here, Sato, pack your belongings and get out. I won't have you in the house any longer. Wait, what? You're immortal, aren't you? You're not even human. It's disgusting. Not only that, but you trampled over what feelings I had for you. I have no obligation to care for you. You are a plague upon this island, and I hope to never see your face again. Well, then I guess there's nothing left to say. What gives, Shotaro? You're being so horrible all of a sudden. Yeah, Shotaro, you're being a real jerk. Did you have to go that far? Oh, shut it. I can't afford to be nice anymore. Not that I expect you to understand that. You have no idea what it means to inherit my old man's legacy. Pretty sure it means you're lucky. He was loaded, wasn't he? Huh. Shows what you know. Let me tell you something about my old man. He was good at what he did, but reckless. He racked up heavy debts, walking a fine line between huge payouts and total ruin. All his successes were a combination of killer luck and sheer cunning, making his shoes almost impossible to fill. Not only that, but he had his fingers in a lot of shady pies, from loan sharking to land speculating, and kept him just this side of the law. Oh, really? Taking over for him means shouldering all those risks myself, and if I can't cut it, it's a one-way street to bankruptcy. That's what the old man saddled me with. It's all up to me now. There's no way out. Shotaro, isn't turning the inheritance down an option? Are you out of your mind? If I did that, I'd have nothing left. After the upbringing I had, I couldn't handle being poor. Damn it all, what am I to do? Hey, Shotaro. If it helps, I sort of get how you feel. Huh? You? What could an impoverished nobody like you possibly understand? Well, you see, I'm kind of in the same boat. What are you saying? Oh, you're talking about that thing you found out today, huh? Yeah. I guess Shotaro's the only one I haven't told yet, so, turns out. Yeah, like, Shotaro, like, he's like... There's ways to deal with it. He doesn't have to, like, he'd take it and, like, remove it, you know, type of thing. Something like that. Sorry. Tsukasa repeated her story, which we had heard earlier that day. When the Coast Guard arrived to investigate Mr. Wakamura's death, A detective from the prefectural police accompanied them and requested a meeting with Tsukasa. The officer announced that the tycoon Yoshiatsu Yamashina, alias Unkakedono, had passed away, and that his will had just been unsealed. And it states as follows: I, Yoshiatsu Yamashina, hereby bequeath all my assets to Tsukasa Awao of Kamashina. An official notice would have been sent to her at a later date, but the officer thought it'd be best to give Tsukasa a chance to prepare herself ahead of time. As soon as she heard the news, Tsukasa's mother let out a whoop and raised her arms in a victory pose. Damn, she made quite the spectacle, jumping for joy and shouting things like, "Take that!" and "Jackpot!" and "I knew he'd pay off sooner or later." Shocked and confused at this previously unseen side of her mother, Tsukasa had bolted from the house without a backwards glance. Yeah, for real? What? You mean you tell me that you're going to inherit Yamashina's estate? All of it? It's a mystery to me as well. He was, like, really famous, right? I can't wrap my head around it. What was he like? What was he thinking, leaving that all to me? It's too much. His total assets up to something like 5 billion yen? At least, that's what I was told. I can't even imagine it. You don't say. No one's given me a chance to turn it down, but I don't know how to handle this. Since he was trying to kidnap Sato, and who knows what other shady stuff he was up to, I can't help feel like I should take responsibility. I think she's confused that, like, she was given his entire inheritance, I think, probably. She probably wasn't like, why is he just suddenly, like, yeah, they met. They met a couple times, but it's like, oh, what? Yeah, really? Are you seriously going to accept it? I guess so. I feel so lost, but I mean, if Shotaro's in the same boat... Well, it's a big deal. You'll become a millionaire overnight. You'll be like a celebrity. You won't have time for little people like us anymore, huh? Huh? I don't want that. If I can't hang out with you guys, I'm turning it down. No, Tsukasa. The inheritance is yours, as it should be. There's nothing to fear. I'll help you. You mean it? I'd be super grateful, but... Of course. I've always known you're a clever girl. You'll have no trouble handling Yamashina's estate. In fact, why don't we be partners? You could be my girl. My fiancé. Huh? Oh, boy. What the hell, man? You can't pop the question out of nowhere like that. Yeah, for real. Tsukasa, please don't fall for this bullshit. Unkakedono is one of my old man's backers. I'm sure it'd be easier to manage our estates if we combined our wealth. Oh, but I... Come now, there's no need to be coy. I know you're fond of me, Tsukasa. Huh? How did you know? What? You wound me. How can I miss the heat of your gaze? I'm not so unfeeling as you suppose. Besides, the feeling's mutual. You've grown into an attractive young woman. Don't think I haven't noticed. You have? I mean, this is all too much. Tsukasa! This is our chance, don't you think? We've known each other for so long. There can be no doubt we're a match made in heaven. Oh gosh, what should I do? I don't know anymore. My mind's gone blank. This is just too much. I need some time to think. Tsukasa, wait up. Ha, even your blush is adorable. I'll be waiting. Don't disappoint me now. That's enough, Shotaro. You've taken this way too far. Huh? Do you have any idea how much Tsukasa cares for you? Her feelings for you are real. I understand her feelings perfectly. Better yet, I reciprocate them. Don't tell me you have an objection. You bet I do. You're just using her. Anyone can see that. The timing is way too convenient. If you go through this, you'll just end up hurting her, you heartless jerk. Not only are your manners lacking, but your wits as well. You are mistaken. My feelings for her are genuine. You liar. You look like you're drowning till you found out about her inheritance. There's no way someone as selfish as you could make Tsukasa happy. I suggest you drop this. Frankly, it does not concern you. Azami? Urgh. Must I spell it out for you? This is between Tsukasa and myself. Keep your nose out of it. God damn it! Now then. Well, now that we understand each other, I'll take my leave. And off he went. But there was more to come. How much more game do we have? Out of nowhere, Avi and Sushi, with whom I'd barely spoken to in this future, came up to talk to us. Hey, aren't you the kids who dealt with the curse that was hanging over the island? When I learned of your heroic deeds from Yumiko, I simply had to make your acquaintance. Oh, nice to meet you. I actually heard about you as well. Oh ho, you heard that. Sershi, our reputations precede us. I wouldn't go that far. You just stand out too much. Oh no, I've only heard good things, I promise. You're Arnav, right? The fantasy author who's come to Japan looking for adventure? What's that? Did I hear you say the bachelor fantasy author whose novels didn't sell and who had attempted savings just to visit Japan? Humbug, I say. Stick a sock in it and mind your own beeswax. Now, that's just creepy. How do you know my catchphrase? I assure you, that was the first time I uttered those words on Japanese soil. Whoops. I mean, I guess it just came to be? It appears you have a mysterious secret up your sleeve, Yuza. Who, me? No, But setting that aside for a moment, there's something I'd like to ask you. This afternoon, I was struck by the sudden desire to visit this jetty. Might have you had something to do with that? Huh? You too? You mean I'm not the first? Yeah, someone else asked me that as well, but I swear I haven't done anything. I see. Another question. I heard the request to put Shirshi's Shirikagami ability came from you. Mind telling me how you knew about that? Well, I guess you could say that Tomokazuki is responsible for both those things. The Tomokazuki? I see. So you encountered Tomokazuki bearing the memories of a different future, and you believe that this same being, or creature, or what have you, has secretly been guiding all of us ever since. Huh? I never heard anything like that before. That would explain how you knew about Shirshi's Shikigami. If your theory is correct, I suppose we should all be grateful to this Tomokazuki for bringing about such a peaceful conclusion, but on the other hand, I nearly died because of this. Really? So what? Last I checked, you're still kicking. Well, yes, one can't help being a little used, as it were, though I suppose I ought to be thankful for my life nonetheless. Besides, it would take a lot more than this to upset me. I made it through all manners of do-or-die moments and deadly situations before now. Whoa, wow, you must be pretty tough. I'll never get my hands on that treasure now. Still, I suppose I did get quite an adventure in exchange, so fair is fair. Well then, good luck to you, Yuza. Oh, thanks. All this cursed business has tuckered us out, so we'll be spending the night here on Kamishina and setting sail for home on the morrow. I'm glad I had the chance to speak with you before we left. You've my gratitude. Take care now. And off they went. after that... Nice shooting star. Later, Tsukasa called us together, saying she needed to talk to us tonight. We decided to meet up with her, or We decided to meet up here. The police investigation was in full swing in the town center, and the Wakamura residents the police investigation was in full swing in the town center and around the Wakamura residence, but out in the bay, everything was quiet. You okay now, Tsukasa? Kinda. Some lawyer wants me to go meet him the day after tomorrow. But I'm not even sure what I want to do yet, and honestly, I'm still in shock over what happened earlier. Tsukasa, don't rush this, okay? You shouldn't make a big decision like this until you feel ready. This is about your future, no one else's. You gotta think it over carefully and do what's best for you. Asami, you're right. Thanks for worrying about me. But I didn't call you guys out here to talk about that. Sato, there's something I've got to know. Oh, okay, what is it? See, I overheard a bit of what went down with Okoma when I was up on the roof earlier. You've been alive for 800 years, right? And it sounded like your lifespan must be coming to an end pretty soon. Was that for real? Sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. So it's true? Yeah. I don't remember anything from that far back, but I've always known how long I've had left. Seriously? Then how long? I think tomorrow might be my last day. Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow night. This body of mine will fade away like the spray of sea foam. Or like a spray of sea foam. Why didn't you say something? There's so little time left. Is there anything we can do to delay it? Please, tell me there's some way to change this. Can't pick that. I wish I could say otherwise, but there's nothing we can do. No, I don't want to say goodbye. Please don't leave us, Sato. Sato, Tsukasa. Please. There's no need for tears, Tsukasa. The truth is, I'm content with this. You are? I am. 400 years ago, I became a sacrifice to protect everyone from the curse. And now, not only is the curse of the raging waves broken, but so many other problems have been resolved as well. Like with the mermaids and Tomoshige, after all this time, everything is finally settled. Kamishima is finally safe. It's a happy ending. Thanks to you guys, I've fulfilled the purpose of this long life I was cursed with. It actually meant something, and for that, I can't thank you enough. Stop it, Sato. That's not true. Huh? All this is stuff you got mixed up in. You never asked for any of it. So don't say you fulfilled your purpose. This isn't a happy ending at all. You shouldn't have had to go through all those things. Any of those things. None of it was your responsibility. Sato, from the moment you were made an 800-year immortal, you've just been used. She's right, Sato. You deserve a way better life than that. If all you've done is get dragged into Tomoshige's schemes all time and time again, that's just too sad. Look. Be honest with yourself. Are you really content? What about your happiness, Sato? My happiness? After being forced to live for centuries, this can't be how you wanted things to end. You haven't had a chance to do anything for yourself. If you don't get to live happily, at least for a little while, after all you've been through, it'd be so unfair. I couldn't stand it. Thanks, Tsukasa. You're the best friend I could ask for. But when I said I was content, I meant it. I really am. I was never supposed to live in this modern age. When I gave my life to end the curse, I thought that would be it. But it wasn't. I got to experience a time unlike anything I'd ever known and meet so many people. Every day has been a whirlwind of activity. Above all, I made some pretty good friends who care about me so much they'll even cry for me. I've had so much fun these past few months. I can't even begin to describe it. It's a miracle. I've been happier than I've ever thought possible. So, I have no regrets. Seriously. Sato. I'm so sorry. I feel so powerless. I wish I could do something for you. Me too. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Sato. If only I'd known. I'd been wrapped up in my own problems. Ah. You know, I've never been one left behind. No, I've always been the one left behind. I never had anyone grieve for me. Turns out it's a pretty nice feeling. Being the center of attention suits me just fine. Don't hold back now. Geez, Sato, only you could say something like that at a time like this. Sato, Yes? I'm so sorry. Seriously, I feel so bad. I wish I could have... Yuza. I didn't know you were such a crybaby, Yuza. Come on. Can't you be your usual goofy self? I could really use a laugh. You guys feel that bad, huh? Then I guess you'll just have to make it up to me. For starters, you better keep our promise to hang out tomorrow. And I expect you to enjoy every last second to the fullest. Do that, and I guess I'll forgive you. Sato. You're leaving the island tomorrow anyways, right, Tsukasa? Yeah, probably. Then no more tears. If we can have just one more day of fun, spend one more day together, like we always have, nothing would make me happier. Sounds to me like you're letting us off easy. So you think, but I'm counting on you to help me overwrite all these bad memories with a bunch of happy ones. It'll be a busy day. Sato? Right, then that's what we'll do. Yeah, count on us. Dozens of happy memories coming right up. Hey, Yuza, quit moping already. That was your cue. If there ever was a time for one of your oddball jokes, it's right now. I know. That night, we stayed out in the bay, talking and swapping stories until the sun came up. But there was a rule. We had to answer any questions Sato asked us honestly, without hiding anything. Which meant that gasps and chuckles inevitably followed each new reveal. We chatted for hours without once running out of things to share. We talked about the past, the future, our dreams, everything in our hearts. And throughout it all, Sato couldn't stop smiling. As for me, I was determined to etch every moment of Sato Shiranami into my memory, every word and gesture, every expression on her face. Now we're allowed to do the mermaid thing and get the box, right? And then say what can help keep Sato alive, right? No, man, this game's a tragedy. No happy ending. I mean, that was the happy ending. Sato said it. Said it was a happy ending. And then the night after our meeting, Sato took a boat and went out into the bay alone, saying that she didn't want any of us to see her disappear. That was the last we saw of her before she abandoned her transient form with the gentle waves and left this world behind for good. However, before she departed, she told us her final wish. And I vowed to carry it in my heart throughout the centuries that lay ahead as my own personal curse, impossible to dispel. It was a simple wish, in Sato's own words. Remember me until your last breath. I was like, storyteller! You've done well to make it this far. I applaud your efforts. Here ends the tale that has been painstakingly woven over the past 800 years on Kamishima of Issei Bay. Thanks to you, peace has descended upon the island once more. For that, you have my sincerest gratitude. While a few sacrifices may have been made along the way, we must content ourselves with the fact that they were within permissible limits. Now then, while our story does end here, if its conclusion does not sit right with you, you may wish to explore possibilities that would result in a different outcome. On the other hand, I can simply tell you what the missing pieces are, if you prefer. I had a feeling you might say that. My apologies for making such an undignified proposal. I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors. I shall take my leave of you now, until we next meet. Okay, we have something there. Okay, I'm gonna be right back again, so enjoy birds. Don't go too far. We will continue to wrap things up when I get back. I remember one of the score goals, but I did also notice something here. We go back into the chart. We still have one of those things missing there, but one is Kikuko's reward, so that's probably for the score. See the Tori through different eyes, okay. So, if you can't do this, my other thought is that We actually get, if I get her not to get the Tommy Tobacco, will he give it up to Yuza here? That's weird, okay. What if you start with, oh, he's not here. Interesting. Okay, so then I think the thing needs to be then, if you can't see... What's his name if he doesn't have the Tomate Tobacco? Then I assume... it means we need... It must mean we need to kill Kikuko. Where I found this. Well, actually, I wonder, because... Start from the beginning. No, never mind. Because this one, the thing... But this doesn't start with the, Because I was wondering if that would unlock something for us, that we found it, but... I assume this, still don't get a choice here. Okay. wait, no, I want to, we want to get rid of the mirror, but have the card. Okay, we did that. So is this going to be different? Light the curse. Get out. Start to the jetty. Out first. Put the ability. There's more to come. This isn't gonna change anything, is it? No, can't do that. Yeah, I need to find something underwater. Part of me feels like I should, get more info, but... Oh, no, you get a map screen on the next screen. Yeah, right? Actually, wait. I did try this with him, with Kikuko being dead. But I also didn't try Kikuko being dead without having the box. Okay, he still doesn't show up there. Okay, well. We'll actually get a hint then. Very well, listen closely. A need is a pure piece of mermaid flesh that still maintains its ability to grant immortality. To that end, you'll need to ensure that Sato has the yeah. For the flesh of a mermaid whilst in this world, the moment it is removed, unless it's kept within. Naturally, that means you'll have to convince the yeah, got that. Counted a mermaid before. Scour your memories, your past memories of a mermaid must be somewhere among them. Yeah, for real, right? Like, the thing that gets me is that, like, if you do this, you can do this many times, but you don't get to... You know, if I wanted to... I want to look at the boat, but... So that's that. Did you figure it out, Toast? I'm not sure. How do I check? I have 1, 2... I think I have like 3 endings, because I do remember the credits somewhere, but I don't remember... I wish there was an easy way to see what endings I have. There's 2 with Abby. Yeah, I might need a little bit of help here. Oh, okay. Oh wait, you said I want to thank one. I assume it's the same thing, but... So Nakoma... Wait, this isn't... There he is. An exciting Isashima adventure. Where is that? Do I just not have this? I don't have that story chunk. God, I'll do my best. No, I feel like I guess there must be a recollection somewhere that I'm just missing or something. Since really don't worry about it. Cause like we have the box here. Which might be now. Yeah, I don't have anything that's called that. I have Isashima Investigation. Again, it's just really wild that you're not allowed to... Hiding killer. Bob. Yeah, we have to actually fit the... Oh yeah, that's Blue's Cruise. I see. Have to submit this. Like, I feel like there has to be some kind of, like, split here or something. Discovering the mermaids of Issei Bay, treasure hunting 1, treasure hunting 2, descendant in duty, arriving on Kamishima, possessions, and fabrication. Oh shit, there's a lot of stuff here, damn. Did not realize there was lore behind these birds. I feel like there's something else I wanted to check out, but... Actually, I wonder, is there one where I get to go into the house? That's upstairs. It's the bad ending. I do wonder if I go to the dude again, he'll just give me another with the Tommy, with what's her name having the Tommy Tobacco. I wonder if give me a different hint. Cool. Yeah, it really just feels like I missed a recollection somewhere. I see. Anything helpful for me to just figure out what I'm doing here? As far as the rope will reach, great, cool. There's something, I mean, at this point... There is a mermaid on the title screen, there is, huh? Can't interact with her. Again, it's just weird that I can't interact with the thingy and the thingy, right? Like... Well, according to the storyteller, I've seen a mermaid at some point, but I'm also just like... Who are we talking about? Are we talking about what's-her-face? Like, she's not a mermaid anymore. Do you have any, like, hints or anything that I can use? Like... I can definitely... Definitely don't want to keep everyone just, like, here with me putzing around, right? Like... Well, that's a shame. Again, it's just like, the problem is that all these other parts kind of show that they're... Where should I check? Like, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, right? Like, where am I supposed to... The load game menu. I still have that message you left me, you know. Wait, do you? But it must have dried up ages. Oh, you know what? You know why? You know why? He did say, I think the storyteller's hint is check your recollection, right? Which is supposed to point you at check the load game screen. Because they've done that, they did it in the first game, right? When it's just like, please show that you're going to remember her forever. The voice thing, right? So, wait, you do? But it must have dried up ages ago. The thoughts I wove into it should have faded too. Surely you can't hear the message anymore. Yep, I can't hear a word. But it doesn't matter. It's an all-important memento. And a part of you as well. That's enough for me to treasure it. Oh, come on. You're gonna make me blush. I was really happy when you shared this with me all that time ago. Well, you know. I can't just show myself in front of anyone, can I? Ah, memories. Is there really no way to hear the message again after it's all dried up? If you found a way to return it to the environment of the internal world, it would be restored to its original state. You might be able to hear it then. Oh, you can do that? Using the Tame Tobacco would probably do it. Oh, but I don't think a normal human would be able to hear the message anymore. Sorry. I guess it's impossible after all. Oh, that's too bad. But if you were a spirit, you might be able to hear it by retracing the echo it left in your mind. Wait, wouldn't I have to be dead for that? That's a no-go then. These memories, they could have belonged to a... Could they have belonged to a mermaid? Maybe. I guess that's why it's kind of like when they talk about the spirit guiding them. Maybe. Here it is. Now we get it. Maybe something will happen. I put this in the Tame Tobacco. Nothing happened, darn. Okay, let's wait a little longer. Nope, still nothing. Seems like nothing's changed. Put it back on the shelf where it belongs. So bye. Hello, Mare. Can you hear me? I try to read my thoughts into the scale and to leave you a message. I hope it reaches you. Listen, I came up with a secret signal for when you need to call me. From now on, if you don't use this signal, I won't respond, so be careful. You need to call me 4 times, leaving at least 3 seconds between each. That's the rule. Don't forget it. It's a promise. Just between you and me. Yeah, I think it did, right? You just put it in the box and it does that. You call me 4 times, leaving at least 3 seconds between each. Where is there a spot where I can call her 4 times? I see. Okay, okay. Ah, yep, see, you got a reaction there. Yeah, for real, I get to click a mermaid. It says at least 3 seconds. I've been trying to wait 3 seconds each time. There we go. Oh, you know that signal, do you? That is true. You got some big pupils. Or irises. That signal is extremely important to me. I won't allow anyone to use it. At least of all on some childish whim. So I'll be first. I have to be sure. Who are you? Huh? Mare? Don't know who you are after all. So myself, not even if they know this signal. God damn it. Guess it'd be our user. We good? So you do know. Allow me to welcome you, Yuza Minakuchi, or rather, Yuza Minakuchi's severed consciousness. Yeah, see, I had a feeling, but then that other memory kind of made me think, oh, we are the spirit of Mari, but yeah. I'm the mermaid called Sobai. You passed through here 8 times now. I suppose it's not that strange you noticed me. This is the place you humans call Ryugu. Though I hear it's also called things like the eternal world and the world beyond. Feel free to call it what you like. Whatever the name. It's one of the many worlds that souls of the departed move on to afterlife. Well, I suppose that's not entirely accurate. The space we're in now serves more of its boundary than anything else. I, for one, call it the title true. Man, I wonder how long it would have taken me to figure this out. Like, I feel like the low game thing I might have eventually got, but... And I got the message, but damn. There's something I always thought to talk to you about. Something I had to talk to you about if we ever happened to meet. Though I never thought you'd come seek me out like this, in the form you are now. It seems you have your own reason for doing so. You wish to speak with me, yes? So what should we talk about first? You're asking if Mara and I were friends? I'm only gonna say this once. You might be Mara's son, but I won't stand for you intruding upon our relationship. The relationship Mara and I had can't be described by so simple a word as friends. This isn't the only world that souls of the dead journey to afterlife, you know. Their number is immeasurable. There are worlds beyond counting. Mara's soul has gone somewhere far, far away. Even here in Yugu, I won't be able to see her again, so don't ask me anymore. Leave me to my memories of her. Was there anything else? How to explain? This is a space that connects the 2 worlds you can travel between. The world the living Sorry, yeah, the world the living Yuza Minakuchi inhabits, and the world you, a severed portion of Yuza Minakuchi's consciousness, usually exists in. As a spirit, you always pass through this space when traveling to the world of the living. Normally, something like this world would be unthinkable, but if not impossible. But it seems you're something of an exception. Was there anything else? Yes, of course you'd want to know about that. I do owe you an explanation of what happened back then. 5 years ago, on the day the calamity struck. Let's get this out of the way first. I was indeed the one who made you an 800-year immortal. But if you come here looking for a way to regain your humanity, I'm sorry, but that's no longer possible. Even as a mermaid, there's nothing I can do. You, or rather, the Yuza Minakuchi of the mortal world, you're no bound to live out the remaining 795 years of your life there, neither aging nor dying. Nothing can reverse this now. Now then, let me tell you what happened on that day 5 years ago, and about the years leading up to it. I guess that's why we never got our image earlier. One of the three Murs, Mari and Sobai. After becoming unable to return to Ryugu, Sobai had ceased to show herself on the surface, even before members of the Somekawa line. However, upon noticing that 400 years had passed since the sinking of Taishima, she cautiously attempted contact with the current generation's inheritor of the family duty, a woman by the name of Mare Somekawa. In the past, any human she encountered had either treated her as an object of worship or sought her flesh. Perhaps as a result, she immediately sensed something was different about Mare, who treated her in a friendly manner from the moment of their meeting, and promised to do all she could to return her to Ryugu. There's no pretense in Mare's bearing, and her attitude when speaking to Sobai was casual and light. Gradually, Sobai began to open up to her. After some time, they agreed on a secret signal and began meeting surreptitiously, growing closer the more they learned about each other. A strange sense of trust came to blossom between them, one transcending the boundaries of their respected species. Mari had originally resolved to remain single and never start a family of her own, in order to devote herself entirely to her duty with Sobai. However, Sobai strongly opposed this, saying that Mari's life here would continue even when she was gone, so Mari should not deny herself a possible future with her own family. She had seen how happy one of her former compatriots had been upon finding love, and believed Mari deserved to know such joys as well, if she wished to. Mari seemed unbothered at the time, but said that she would consider it if someone suitable ended up coming along. However, that moment came sooner than expected. Upon moving to Kamishima, she met the love of her life, Tosuke Minakuchi. Sobai was delighted for Mare and offered her heartfelt congratulations upon hearing of their marriage. While she did not understand the joy of having a family herself, she was gratified to see Mare so happy. It was Mare's constant— Holy shit. Holy shit! I was just like looking at the bar and I'm just like, God, we got a lot. Okay. Monster's constant wish to be able to introduce her beloved family to her dearest friend, but it was forbidden to reveal the existence of mermaids to anyone, even her husband and child. Eventually, the two reached a compromise. Sobai said she would meet them when the time came for her to return to Ryugu, reasoning that there would be no harm in revealing herself for such a short space of time. This agreement became a cherished promise between them. Thus the years did continue to pass, Mari's son growing all the while until the day of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster arrived. In the days leading up to the disaster, a strange rumbling could be heard coming from the sea. Sobai took this as a sign that a storm was caused by the curse of the raging waves was approaching, and she and Mare mistakenly concluded that this meant the seal on Ryugu's entrance would soon be lifted. Although the time was earlier than expected, the two were overcome with excitement at the thought that Sobai could finally fulfill her long-held dream of returning home, and couldn't bring themselves to doubt the signs. They put together a plan. Even if the storm were to come while they were out at sea, Mari would use the bronze mirror to suppress it, allowing Sobai to pass through the entrance of Ryugu alone. Resolved that this was where they would part ways, the two spent that final night together, talking until the sun rose. On the day their plan would be put into action, Mari took Tosuke and Yuza out into the bay on a boat to introduce them to Sobai as promised. Although pained by having to part with Sobai, she was buoyed by the thought that she would now be able to devote herself fully to motherhood and to her family that had always protected her without reservation. Meanwhile, Sobai, was secretly trailing them from the seabed. Disliking the sound of propellers, she was unable to get close to the boat as it was moving. The raging storm. The storm that suddenly broke out around them far exceeded all expectations. Even the bronze mirror was not enough to calm it, and the sea churned and roiled around them as if the heavens themselves were unleashing their wrath. A small fishing boat carrying the Minakuchi family began to take on water, and it was not long before it began to sink. Sobai immediately rushed to their aid, reaching them just as they had fitted Yuza with the lifebuoy and gotten him off the boat. The couple still clung desperately to the sinking boat as it tossed about the waves. Upon seeing Sobai, Tosuke's reaction was surprisingly composed. Whether already resolved to meet his fate or just mellow by nature, his first response after Mari introduced her was to greet her cheerfully, thanking her for keeping Mari company and expressing surprise that Mari's fiery friend turned out to not be human. Sobai, however, had no time for pleasantries. Consumed by only the thought of getting them to safety, she tried to carry them all from the boat. But even a single person proved to be almost too much for her. Naturally, she also lacked the strength needed to tow the boat out of danger. Even her nature as a mermaid wasn't enough to allow her to save someone precious to her when it mattered most. Filled with distress at her own powerlessness, Sobai was overcome by a sense of despair. Frantic, she tried to take only Mare with her in a bid to escape the sinking boat, but Mare rebuffed her attempt. She had no intention of being the only one saved. Instead, she and Tosuke pleaded for Sobai to help Yuza, saying that his survival meant more to them than anything else. Sobai could not understand. She refused to. She had prepared herself to bid farewell to Mare, but parting like this was too painful for her to bear. Mare, for her part, continued to apologize to Sobai, despite the looming threat of her own death, concerned for her friend's safety, and feeling deep regret for being unable to see Sobai back home. It was more than Sobai could stand. At that moment, Sobai's innermost feelings came into sharp relief. Part of her, deep down, resented Yuza and Tosuke with all her being. She was happy as long as she had Mare, but Mare had her family to love as well. And yet, as Sobai herself who had wished for Mare to find happiness by starting a family of her own. Overwhelmed by unfamiliar emotion of conflict and self-loathing, she found herself unable to think clearly. Smiling as she clung to the sinking boat, half submerged in seawater, Mare thanked Sobai for her friendship and told her that the days they had spent together had been some of her happiest. Sobai was devastated. Every part of her rejected the entire situation. She didn't want to hear Mare bid farewell to her like this. She didn't want to part with Mare at all. She wanted to grab hold of her friend and carry her to safety, by force if necessary. Even if returning home to Ryugu no longer mattered to her as much as this. But she couldn't ignore Mari's plea to save her son. Wrenching herself away from the sinking boat, Sobai headed to rescue Yuza, all while resenting the boy for the tremendous love that Mari bore him. When she found Yuza, he had been caught up in a whirlpool and was barely clinging to life. Sobai caught herself feeling almost satisfied at the sight, thinking that it served him right. If it hadn't been for Yuza, she could have saved Mare, but Mari's plea for her to save Yuza, that her only wish for him was to survive, echoed in Sobai's mind. The next moment, she dragged the dying Yuza out of the whirlpool and pulled off a piece of her own tail, forcibly dragged Yuza out of the whirlpool and, pulling a piece of off her own tail, forcibly fed it to him. Whether her emotions were driving her at this point were a desire to fulfill Mari's wish or hatred towards Yuza, even Sobai couldn't say. After carrying Yuza out of the reach of the storm, Sobai immediately went to rescue Mare. She found her after 3 long days of searching, but her efforts had been in vain. Mari's body was already cold. Once someone had died, it was beyond even a mermaid's power to bring him back. Sobai clung to Mari's body and wept. Never again would she hear Mari's voice calling her name. She laid Mari's body to rest on the seabed and, hiding herself beside it, spent her days mourning, lost in the depths of despair. Several years later, the entrance to Ryugu was unsealed, and Sobai, with no remaining attachments to the mortal world, made her return home by herself. Before doing so, she met with Mari's sister, thinking to reclaim her mermaid's relic from her. However, put off by the woman's blatant avarice, she found herself unable to muster any interest in her, and ultimately returned without reclaiming the relic, despite knowing full well the misfortune it can bring. Looking back now, what I did to you was wrong. It was an extreme situation, yes, but I must have been mad to even consider it. Every time I remember, I wonder what on earth I was thinking. How could I have done something so cruel to the son Mari loved so much? Even though nothing that happened was your fault. I don't expect you to forgive me, but let me at least say this. I'm sorry. I would do anything within my power to ease your burden. What? Want a piece of my flesh? But why? I suppose it's not impossible. You could bring it back to the mortal world using the relic I left there. Normally this would be forbidden, but I suppose I was the cause of all this. Maybe it counts as an attempt to make amends, if nothing else. It's done. I sent it to the other side. You should be able to take it from the box there. They claim it as their own on the evening of August. Oh, so that's why. Okay, so you need to do this to get the thingy. Okay, got it. It seems you've done everything you came to do. This is where we part ways. I know I won't respond anymore. Know that I won't respond anymore, even if you call to me with that signal. Having a means of calling me was prohibited in the first place. Live and be happy, Yuza, for Mare's sake, for all the years she never got to see. Be sure to tell him that when you return to him in the mortal world. Got an achievement for discovering Ryugu. Actually, just for fun, we're gonna try this. We'll do this first, because, like, it would be a little funny a little bit weird to end with this one. There it is, an exciting Shima adventure. So, Shoshi and Abby made their way back to Toba in search of Kipe Ikoma. Who are you talking to? Feels more exciting this way, doesn't it? Huh? You might be right. But it seems we just missed him. Even though he claimed he's afraid of the ocean. The people at that port said he left for Kamishima on a chartered boat. There are no more ferries today, so we have no way of getting back to the island. I'm afraid there's not much else we can do. Well, as long as we have the Tame Tobacco here, there might be another chance someday. Shoshi, what's wrong? I don't know, but the Tame Tobacco is giving off a strange spiritual energy. Oh, I didn't notice. It felt a bit heavier than before. Let's take a look. Huh? There's something inside. Huh? Something just appeared inside? What's this? A chunk of flesh? My goodness. Could this belong to a mermaid? Wait, what? Is it real? It exudes an incredible spirit energy. Whatever it is, it's extraordinary. Doesn't it feel too good to be true, though? It could be a trap. Or a curse. I found it! The gods haven't forsaken me after all. Thank you, world. I accept your gracious offering. Are you seriously going to eat a chunk of mystery meat just like that? What's wrong with you? Well, not particularly good. Very watery. Too much fat. No real texture. It's not too fishy. So, fried, I don't know how to say that word. Manre? Yeah. It might not be half bad. Well, that's all well and good, but I wasn't asking about the taste. Not that I'm planning on trying anyway. How do you feel? Is our immortality setting in? I don't feel any different. Want me to stab you or something? Whoa, slow down. What if that didn't work? I just suffer a painful skewering for nothing. Well, I'm pretty sure painful things will still hurt even if you are immortal. As far as I understand, an immortal body doesn't regenerate unless you're fatally wounded. In that case, I must politely decline. I'm not the biggest fan of pain, you see. Anyway, I'm sure I'll find out it worked one day. In fact, and the fact we got a hold of the Tommy Tobacco was already worth the trip. Well, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. And that concludes Ave and Sushi's exciting Isashime adventure. Thanks for reading, everyone. Ah, he's narrating again. Well, now, I suppose I'll get back to the US. What about you, Sushi? I think I'll keep exploring the Kia region for a little while longer. I was thinking of paying a visit to Kumano Gongen. Or was that the deity of the Kumano region, right? That's the one. Actually, it's a collective term for the deities enshrined around in the 3 grand shrines known as the Kumano Sanzan. That's... what a silly ending. It was like, oh, something appeared in the box. Let me eat it. Might make me immortal. I mean, that is a very Abby move to do, right? And thus, after obtaining the flesh of a mermaid, Ave's wish came true and he was granted an 800-year lifespan. However, soon after, Ave was detained at the airport by the Paranormal Affairs Bureau under suspicion of murdering Kikuko Tsutsui with a curse. It was the mangled half-fish remains of Kikuko Tsutsui washed ashore on the coast of Toba that brought the crime to light. Ivy fought back furiously, yelling and demanded he get a lawyer, and saying he refused to talk. He did everything he could to avoid conflict. In the end, the case never went to court. However, citing the rule that 800-year immortals must be sealed away, a decision was made. From that day on, Arnav Barnum, the cheerful fantasy novelist, was never seen in public again. Yeah, I guess that's why there's like 2 endings for him. When Toe said there's 2 endings, and then the box was able to show up, it's like, okay, there's 1 ending for reached Arnum's bad ending. One's gonna be like the Kikuko is gonna be because, like, that had to be, like, a thing, right? So... no, it's fine. It's fine. I would have figured it out like, when we got to this, I would have figured it out anyways, because, I mean, like, oh, this is the bad ending. Clearly, we need to get the good ending. Although, I don't know if this is still a good ending for him. A man like him, who constantly seeks out new adventure, would most assuredly never encounter a dull day in those 800 years. Living his life to the fullest, he traveled the world in an everlasting search of thrilling mysteries and marvels. In the mid-21st century, his novel, The Tale of the Never-Ending Youth, which was inspired by his own experiences, became a surprise worldwide hit. The live-action adaptation by a major U.S. studio proved a major success, spawning merchandise and a theme park that made him a wealthy man. Always smiling until his final days, he proudly proved that even after 800 years, not all glory is doomed to fade. In the 27th century, he wrote the following words in his journal. The world keeps on turning. Compared to its birth and the richness of its history, 800 years is far too short. I guess it was a good ending for him. I guess like Sato, he's a natural immortal. He could be fine. But it's also like, are you sure that, But I'm surprised Paranormal Affairs didn't, like, step in here. They're like, wait, okay, you're immortal? We need to talk. I mean, he did, but, like, he became famous. He became famous. He did not keep a low profile. Actually, she's gonna be okay. Huh? Sorry, I've been keeping this a secret, but... An eternal conclusion. Would he? I mean, he literally made a story about himself being immortal. But here's the thing, though. I assume that's like, yeah, you travel every place that you want to visit, but everything also changes a lot, right? So... Yusa Minakuchi has done everything he must do. All that's left is to see out the end. All your efforts have been truly remarkable. The fact that you're seeing this means all of Yusa Minakuchi's wishes have been fulfilled. You have overcome countless hardships and resolved every dilemma. Congratulations. Yeah, that's basically it, right? Like, he... At that point, it's like, oh, this guy's immortal. We need to take him in. But, I guess they're just like, well, secret's out, fuck it. Now then, you may be confused as to what exactly transpired. Please allow me to explain. Yusa Minakuchi's true objective was to obtain the flesh of a mermaid. This was to fulfill his oath of making Sato Shiranami immortal again before her imminent demise, that they may live 800 more years together. He just has to disappear. He just has to disappear. They don't want to make... However... Who could have expected multiple curses to strike Kamishima at the very same time? Yes, I'm referring to the curse of the Raging Waves, born 4 centuries ago, and the curse of Tomoshige, which had built up over 800 years. While such calamities would appeared to offer naught but misfortune. As luck would have it, these curses were blessings in disguise. They led Yuza Minakuchi down a path that would otherwise not have been possible. One could very well call it a miracle. The key to all this was your efforts. Now, I shall describe each pivotal event of the story in its order of occurrence. One fated day, August 7th, Yuza Minakuchi went diving and searched Kamishima for leads to find mermaids. However, that night, Kippei Koma sent Kikuko Tsutsui as an assassin to cause the tragedy of Kamishima, thereby allowing him to capture Sato. This shifted Yuza Minakuchi's priorities away from his search for mermaid flesh, as he is tragically killed and his mission ends in failure. It would seem that fulfilling his wishes was never in the cards, and he instead met with a terrible fate. However, the consciousness lingering within the severed head witnessed something inexplicable. It was the sight of his 800-year-old immortal body regenerating a new head. With that, a new mind, complete with all memories intact, formed inside the regenerated head of the resurrected Yuza Minakuchi. The severed head then disappeared, yet the consciousness that had remained within it did not return to his body. It became a spirit that crossed over to the afterlife, what some might call the eternal world. Thus was another consciousness separated from Yuza Minakuchi's primary body formed. And that separated consciousness was you. You once asked, "Who am I?" But may I assume the answer has now become clear? This separate consciousness of Yuza Minakuchi remained in the eternal world, despite the firm resolve it had held. Growing ever more anguished over its failure, without knowing what had occurred afterwards, it dearly desired to find a way to return to its past self and explain the situation before this failure could take place. So it found its way to the boundary between the mortal world and the world beyond. That is to say, it found its way here, to Ryugu. This is the place you laid eyes upon at the very beginning. This is where your duty began. The fact that this place was just so happens to be where the mermaids reside turned out to be a stroke of luck. Because you would lose all memory of this fact once you passed through the gate into the mortal world, I stepped in to humbly guide you along your path. Then, as a spirit, you encountered Yuza Minakuchi during his dive to the bottom of the sea. Because you resembled a phenomenon known as the Tomokazuki, you were referred to as such. Needless to say, you are not a Tomokazuki. Yet, that is how you possessed Yuza Minakuchi and shared your fragmented memories with him. Even so, it was not enough. In your spirit form, you had the ability to use the story chart and travel across space and time to possess other individuals. You enter the minds and memories of various people, jumping between each in turn as you earnestly sought to realize your goals. And that is how things progressed behind the scenes during the story. You have fulfilled your role and will now return to the world from whence you came. After you have viewed what became of everyone following these events, this PARANORMASIGHT will finally draw to a close. Thank you very much for your diligent attention. So you decided to accept your inheritance, but you're going to university first? Uh-huh. The wheels are in motion for me to take over the family business after studying real hard at university. Your whole life must be undergoing some major changes. Are you managing okay? You don't have too much on your plate? Actually, about that. Get this. Turns out my ma used to be a certified public accountant. I had no idea. Anyway, the plans for ma to manage all the assets while I'm studying my butt off. She was apparently waiting like a hawk for the moment to swoop in and make sure you got everything coming to you. I don't know if I should call her cunning, but Tsukasa's mom sure knows how to get things done. That's wild. Yeah, for real. That reminds me. There's something I wanted to ask you, Azami. You mentioned wanting to ask Tsukasa out the other day, so how'd that go? Whoa, Sato, you're seriously going to ask that right in front of everyone? Everybody? Jeez. I mean, I guess it's fine since I already asked her out, but that could have ruined everything. Wait, you did? When did this all go down? Oh, I couldn't help myself. I've been dying to know. I had to ask, even if it messed up your mojo. You sure have something else, Sato. Anyway, if you need answers that bad, you should ask Tsukasa. So what did you say, Tsukasa? How did he ask? Where was it? Tell us already. You're way too invested, Miss Encyclopedia. You know how things are with me right now. The truth is, I haven't given him an answer yet. Oh, but at least it's not an outright rejection. So how long are you gonna make him wait? I gotta do some soul searching to figure out how I feel. I need everything to settle down, so around 4 or 5 years? That long? You're gonna keep leading the poor guy along all that time? Right? And to top things off, she asked for my help in the meantime. Your help? Yep. I want to take over for old man Wakamura and make Kamishima the best place it can be. I want it to be way more convenient and bustling than it is now. Okay. An island that tourists flock to, you know? That means I'll need to start a business to manage and all that. As you can see, I got loads of stuff to do. That's why I need you to give it your all as the leader of Kamishima, Azami. Yeah, I guess I want all that stuff for Kamishima too. That all sounds great, and Azami will definitely be a big help. My plan is to have Azami rise up the ranks and help me out with a whole bunch of stuff. Once he becomes a big shot like mayor or something, then maybe we can start going out. What? That'll take way too long. I'll be an old geezer by then. I think I get it though. What industry do they have other than, like, there's nothing really going to bring them money other than tourism, right? I guess if they're self-sustaining, they don't really need too much, but like, they do need money, unfortunately. See what I mean? This is what I have to deal with. It seems like cunningness runs in the family. Do you think being on an island makes a difference? True, true. Hawaii is also very different. Like, I can't really get into. I'm not native there or anything. I haven't even been there or talked. Like, I've heard some stories about certain things with tourism and whatnot, but that's just hearsay on my part. So, yeah, it's too complex a subject, for real. Like, especially for them, like, they're, like, really, really close. Hawaii's, like, really far out from the U.S., whereas, you know... And also, you know, Hawaii has their own natives. Haha, well, you got something to strive for now. Good luck with it. Put your belly aching, Azami. We're doing this for Sato and Yuza, too, you know? Yeah, I know. We talked it all out before. We talked it all over before. Huh? What do you mean you're doing this for us? Let's just say we were surprised when we heard about you guys the other night. How you became immortal yourself 5 years ago, yeah? By that stage, you'd secretly gotten your hands on some mermaid flesh for Sato. And now Sato has become immortal for the second time. And the fact that you guys had decided to stay together for the next 800 years. It was a lot to swallow all at once. Yeah, sorry for dropping such a big bombshell on you guys. And to be precise, we're going to be together for the next 795 years. What's 5 years when you got centuries? 5 years is a long time. Yeah, he's right. And we're going to discuss the idea for going another 800 years when we get close to the end. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's up to you guys. Do whatever you want. But don't forget that you owe us for keeping such a big secret from us this whole time. You got it? For real? See? I told you we should have gotten their advice from the start. Yeah, you've been saying that from the get-go. I know you said you'd live on the down low in Kamishima because it'd be a whole other thing if people found out about you two, but people will eventually start getting suspicious, even if you try to lead normal lives. What are you going to do then? Well, we kind of assumed it would all work out somehow. It's true. We haven't really thought about that at all. We figured as much. That's why we're going to protect the two of you. Huh? We're going to make some rules on the island so no one will get suspicious of you no matter how long you choose to live. I mean, it's going to take some time to put our plan into action, but I'm sure we'll be calling the shots around here. by the time people start thinking there's something fishy going on with you guys. I was thinking we can build a shrine for you two to live up in the mountains. Oh, a shrine. That sounds incredible. We can say gods are enshrined there, so people shouldn't go near it without permission. And then I'll make sure the descendant of the Kamoi family are protectors of that shrine all the way down the family line. So they'll always protect you. The Somekawa family managed to pass down their legend for 400 years, so I bet my family could handle a shrine for 800 or so. That sounds thoughtful, but I feel kind of bad for making you guys worry so much. Not to mention several generations of your family. It's totally fine, don't mention it. Nothing makes me happier than seeing you and Sato together like this. I know you went through a lot to get to this point, Yuza. I'm really happy for you. Asami. I'm so happy for you. Like, seriously overjoyed. You heard the man. That's why we won't let anyone get in the way of all this happiness. Asami, Tsukasa, thank you both so much. Oh, Tsukasa, the fact that you think all these plans are just for us means the world to me. Well, there was one other reason. Yuza's never been the type to look before he leaves, so we have to be around to make sure he doesn't get in any more trouble. Good point. Hey, that's not true. You're the one who always got me into messes, Azami. Nope, you're both wrong. You have any idea how much apologizing I've had to do for you guys over these years? Oh, but you're gonna make it up to me now. I'll work you both to the bone. You too, Sato. Oh, you too, Sato. We're gonna put Kamishina on the map. You got it. Just tell me what to do. Let's all keep getting each other into and out of trouble from here on out. Guess he's not gonna work for Paranormal Affairs. There's a legend in Kamishima. There's a story passed down through the generations about two gods in the guise of a young man and a young woman. They would often leave their shrine disguised as ordinary humans and happily stroll through the town. Okay, on occasion, they would sneak off the island and travel around the country before returning home. The people of the island would stop and give a small bow whenever they came across the couple, and they silently watched as they went on their way. No one knew from whence the pair had come. Their history was shrouded in mystery. But it is said that this mischievous, playful, and intimately harmonious couple would always look upon one another with pure joy. There was apparently only one inviolable rule concerning the pair. One must never sneak up and startle them from behind. Makes sense. Several decades after those events. The country has seen 2 new emperors' reigns, and people with any detailed knowledge of those fateful days have grown few and far between. Now the Kantakisha ruins of Kamishima have become a sacred place for lovers, with couples flocking to it to strengthen their bonds. On this day, the young visitors who happened to come see the sights spotted a young man and young woman together on the roof of the Kantakisha ruins, gazing happily out to sea. Well, we did it. I'm glad I did the Avi stuff before this. It'd be silly to go back to the Avi after this. Game was good. Game was good. You know, we've had some pretty disappointing sequels on this channel throughout the years, right? I wasn't expecting to be a love story, yeah, for real. When I started, I was like, man, I really hope Mio's in this. But, you know, I kind of appreciate that they just decided. Like, they had some reference to some of the people. Some of the people in the first game. But, like, besides that, they made it completely original and something that's different, you know? No. Hey, we're gonna ruin someone's backstory to fit this narrative. Thank God. Yeah, and like, I feel like if they added Mio, like, I feel like Mio would still be fine. Like, I feel like they wouldn't fuck her up just adding her, right? So, yeah, no, this definitely has a different feel, especially since like they're both good. They're both good. They both deal with, like, supernatural and some horror elements and whatnot. The first game definitely starts off feeling very much, some, what I was gonna say, the vibes on the first game was definitely different to start with than this game. Because this game you have, like, you're on an island. It's very, most of the time you're in the daytime. But it's not like... Again, I feel like I appreciate that they tried something different. At first I was a bit like... There's not much... I mean, like, for a moment I was just like, you know... I talked about how the first game, like, I am still, like, skittish around some horror stuff and whatnot, but, like... And you saw me in some of the first game where I'm just like, oh man, I don't want to look around the room right now. We did have like 1 or 2 areas like that, but it wasn't too bad here. They eventually did, you know. How to say it? Oh god, I'm just trying to think of how to put it. Like, when we were in that cave, I was definitely like, oh boy. Or there was a couple moments where I'm just like, when I'm looking around for the curse, I'm still like, when the murders were happening, and I'm just like, oh boy, this is actually kind of uncomfortable. So I'm glad they still had elements of that in the game. Because I do find it interesting. Like, the first game was still good, but it was funny to how much the tone shift happened in the middle of that game. Like, the first half of the game, the second half of the game feels very tone different because nighttime and daytime. But also, you know, I think they wanted to play with supernatural and horror elements, but they didn't want to just make, like, we're spooking you out. They wanted to tell a story. They wanted to tell an interesting story. And, yeah. It was just interesting getting kind of a lot of lore and then kind of, like, piecing us together with, like, which parts of that lore was relevant to here. Dude, some of the metal puzzles at the end, though. Again, I do feel like I wish I could have figured out. There's the picture. There's the picture. I wish I could have figured out the, that, but I also didn't want to drag too much, but, like, I should have remembered, because the first game had some metal puzzles, so I should have, like, again, I do think the story tells him that, you know, there's something you remember or whatever. Like, you must have remembered something. I do think that is fair enough. But, yeah, we did it. We did it. I'm pretty sure there's achievements for getting, like, higher diver ranking and all the... I mean, there's probably one for getting all the birds there for sure. I remember they actually said there was something for getting all the birds, but I don't know if I'm going to do that on stream. Thank you for playing our game until the very end. As a token of our appreciation, we have some special information to share with you. About Sorcerer Suigen Gamyodo, according to the results of an investigation conducted by the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, the original Suigen Myodo retired following last year's incident involving the 7 mysteries of Honjo, and a young man with exceptionally potent spirit sense has since taken her place. Although the second Suigen Gamyodo has thus far focused on using his true powerful abilities to solidify his social standing, his true purpose seems to be searching for a diviner by the name of Io Tokoro, who is said to be responsible for teaching the art of curses and other supernatural techniques to a certain ordinary woman. We look forward to the day we can meet again in another Paranormasite. It would be possible. Yeah, I feel like the mermaid, like Ziggle did mention the tile screen, but yeah, I think it would have taken me a while to figure out. Like, I was able to find the message pretty quickly, at least, but it would have taken me a while to figure out calling her, right? So... yeah, I think the other thing, too, is just also just when you go to load. Like, if it was, like, not at the straight bottom, like, maybe if it was, like, above the autosave. But I think they wanted to hide it a little bit to make you, like, actually look for it. But... it is funny because I do have an accidental save down here. One bonus condescend my... I might look for the birds on my own time, and then, because some of these are also, looks like they're on the seabed. Yeah, so, like, there's a few of them that you have to, discover your mermaid and the sanctuary. Yeah, there's a few that I have to kind of really go around. It just listed out the puzzle solutions. Ah, gotcha. Okay, well... thank you all for joining me. This game is really, really good. Yeah, yeah. It does make sense, you know. They said, like, you must have had a mermaid, and this is where you would see a mermaid. But yeah, really good game. Did not let me down. Like again, I still think I like the first game better. Mainly because I guess the first game felt like a more novel experience for getting it the first time. But I really appreciate this game. This might be one of the better VN sequels I've experienced because they delivered on a good story, some good characters, and they didn't try too hard to overdo themselves or like ruin things with characters that were previously established, or try too hard to lean on those previous characters that they liked, right? Like people like God, like again, Clover being in VLR is still one of the worst things in that game. You know? And you know, the whole like, oh, you just other things, but you know. No, this game was really good, and it makes me excited that they do want to keep the series going. Especially with that File 38 looks like it's a hint to future games, but true. I'm sure the next game they'll figure out some stuff and they'll make some fun stuff to do and whatever, but I'm gonna send you over to Rito, who is playing Turtle Jam, and Earl. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you guys next time. We'll figure out what I'm doing. I'm sure, whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be good. So, I'll see you then. Bye now.